You are listening to Huddling with the Herd on KYNT, a weekly recap of Yankton High School athletics. Huddling with the Herd is brought to you in part by Mount Marty University, At the Bar, FNBO, Avera, Parker Hannafin, Olson's Pest Technicians, Farmers Union Insurance, SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab, Rhonda Westland State Farm Insurance, Vision Care Associates, Explorers Credit Union, Slowey Management, Mason Schramm and the Move Group, MT&RC Smith Insurance, Triple Time Rudy's, Vision Real Estate, First Dakota National Bank, Yankton Medical Clinic, the UPS Store, Hy-Vee, First Chiropractic Centers, Pizza Ranch, and Missouri River Associates. Now, broadcasting live from KYNT Studios, it's Huddling with the Herd with KYNT Sports Director Brayden Butler.
Good Saturday morning, everybody. We are live for another week of Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT and also streaming live on KYN-TV. Huddling with the Herd is your weekly recap of Yankton Bucks and Gazelles athletics, and the spring season is here for the Bucks and Gazelles. I know track got us started last week, but now we have the season opener finally for baseball today after Monday's game was canceled. Softball starting their season on Monday next week. Bucks tennis already starting their season yesterday. They have 2 more matches today. Gazelles golf still waiting in the wings. They don't kick off until the middle of April, but we'll talk a bit about them as well. Then track and field got it going again yesterday as well out at the Mount Marty Class A Indoor Invitational. A couple indoor meets so far for track and field, and considering yesterday, I understand being indoor yesterday, but they're going to go outdoor on the 7th for their next one. So we got plenty to talk about today. Obviously, another great week of Yankton Bucks and Gazelles athletics. When we get to track and field, it'll be a little later on, but when we get to track and field, another new record set for the Mount Marty Indoor Invitational. If you remember, the first meet of the season, 2 facility records for the high school level were set at the Ruth Donahoe First Dakota Fieldhouse. Well, now a new meet record has been set for the Class A Indoor Invitational, once again by a Yankton athlete. We'll talk about that later on, because we are going to start things off with baseball when we come back here on Huddling with the Herd. We'll hear a little season preview from head coach Drew Lawrence. They were supposed to start their season on Monday, but then, cold weather kind of reared its head, so that got canceled. Their season opener now this afternoon. Check that this evening, because weather has pushed that back as well. We'll talk more about that in a couple minutes. You're listening to Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN-TV.
Looking for the perfect pair of glasses? At Vision Care Associates, we've got you covered. Step into our showroom and discover our vast selection from timeless classics to the latest trends. With several styles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect match for your look. Experience personalized service and expert care, whether you need help finding the right frame or adjusting your new glasses for the perfect fit.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
What if your next big adventure isn't somewhere out there, but already waiting for you at home? That kitchen remodel, a new addition, or that dream family getaway? Your home's equity can fuel it all. With a fixed-rate home equity loan from Explorers Credit Union, turn what you've built into where you're going next. Explorers Credit Union, we believe in helping you launch your next big adventure. Call 800-491-4309 and speak with a loan officer today. Explorers Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
At Mount Marty University, students get real support and real opportunities.
Hi, I'm Maya, and I'm a business major at Mount Marty University. The professors here at Mount Marty are just amazing. They're very good about supporting me through future internships and jobs that they try and line me up with, and they also provide real life experiences in the classroom through projects and speakers and things like that.
Start your journey online at mountmarty.edu.
It's the best part of basketball season, and At the Bar is your headquarters for every game, every matchup, every last-second shot. Wall-to-wall coverage of upsets, buzzer beaters, bracket busters. If it's on the court, it's on the screens at the bar, and you won't miss a minute. The energy's loud, the beverages are cold, and every big shot feels even bigger when you're watching it together. You can watch the game anywhere, but the real fans gather at the bar in downtown Yankton.
FNBO is the great big small bank, and for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family-owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
It's time to stop making excuses. The peace of mind you get after a colonoscopy is worth it. It's the best way to prevent and detect one of the deadliest cancers. In fact, your doctor can remove precancerous polyps during the procedure if necessary. That's right, before it even turns to cancer. No excuses. Get a colonoscopy at 45 and follow up every 10 years or as recommended by your doctor. Find a location or schedule now at avera.org/colon.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV. Let's start things off with baseball. Bucks baseball starting their season finally today after Monday's game was canceled against Beersford due to some cold weather that evening. They now open their season today, and even today's games have been moved. Originally scheduled for a 1 p.m. first pitch, now scheduled to start at 5 p.m. for Game 1, Game 2 to follow. Pre-game on KYNT and KYN-TV begins at 4:15 this afternoon. I'll be on the call for that one along with Josh Bolter. So Josh Bolter getting involved with baseball with us again this year. He's a big baseball fan, so it's good to have him on the broadcast. Should be a lot of fun tonight and all season long. But talking about the baseball season, I got a chance to do an interview with Coach Drew Lawrence last week as kind of a season preview. He did talk about Beersford in it, so I've edited it down a little bit to cut out the talk about Beersford, obviously, since it was before that planned season opener, but still gives some great information on his team and where they're standing heading into now the season opener today against Pierce. So we're going to start things off with that here on Huddling with the Herd. Here's head coach Drew Lawrence of the Yankton Bucks. Brayden Butler here on KYNT. Joining me over the phone right now is the head coach of the Yankton Bucks baseball team, Drew Lawrence. Excited to start another season, Coach Lawrence, on Monday against Beersford in your season opener out at Riverside Field. We'll be there to cover that one, but I just want to start things off with how are you doing today and how are you feeling heading into another year of Bucks baseball?
Today's good. The snow's melting. We'll be able to practice outside. It's fun with baseball. Kids love practice with baseball. They love to play games and practice, and so they're itching to get out, and so we're excited for it.
I know my apartment is right down there on the river, so I can see when you guys are out there practicing for baseball. It's been getting me ready to go into the baseball mindset between you guys and Mount Marty getting out there. But first game on Monday, how have those practices so far looked for your team as you're getting ready for the season?
We've been fairly fortunate with the weather to be able to practice outside. We've been outside since probably beginning of February. So with that and with our winter stuff that we have going on with our players, these guys are ready to play. If we needed to, we could probably start right now with extending innings. Obviously, we're not going to do that, but they're wanting to play. I think they've practiced enough. Practice has been going good, but I think they've seen enough practice and enough hitting against each other to where they're ready for some actual competition.
I know last year you graduated a couple key seniors, but you bring a lot of guys back as well from a very successful baseball season if you group in the Legion year, obviously, as well. But who are some guys that you're expecting to really take center stage and lead the squad this year?
Yeah, like you said, obviously we had a pretty good run there last spring and last summer with a good group of seniors and juniors together. It's always hard to replicate that or try and do that again, but, I think this group is up for it. We return, I think, 5 starters on offense, with, Samuel Goki being player of the year and being able to come back is obviously huge. Quite an honor for him to be able to win that award, but he earned it. So Samuel will be able to play position and pitch. And then other positions, obviously, are the big ones, like Beck Recken playing shortstop for us and pitching, Tate Bestie in center, pitching as well. Easton Fieser at first base is returning. And honestly, probably our most important piece coming back for his third year is Gavin Johnson as our catcher. I would put Gavin as the best catcher in the state, in my opinion. I know I'm not impartial when it comes to that, but as far as his ability to control games behind the plate and his hitting ability, he's big for us. So having those guys all back and then adding Boston Frick in to pitch for us too, we return a bunch of good guys that, we should have a successful season.
You brought up Gavin Johnson there and how crucial he is behind the plate, and I know you're not the only coach that sees that. I know he signed on earlier this year to go to Mount Marty, play baseball with Coach Tycro up there, so that probably helps the pipeline watching him play in the backyard a little bit, basically, for the Lancers. And then one final question here for you, Coach. Coaching staff, I know Coach Creer's been with you the last for a while now, but who is all part of your coaching staff if Creer's back, and who else?
We'll have Coach Creer with us. Coach Davis is back. He has helped us out before in previous years as an assistant. Peyton Mueller will always help out, being a board member and helping me coach and do the organizational stuff. And then lower level coaches, we got Mitch Gullickson, Colin Zarbach, and Evan Steiner. So we have a really good coaching staff. Obviously, I think that, but they do a really good job, and we have a lot of guys that have a lot of experience. So those guys are the ones helping us out this year.
That was head coach Drew Lawrence, the Yankton Bucks baseball program, talking to us here for Huddling with the Herd. That was recorded over the Pizza Ranch phone line here for the show. And once again, Huddling with the Herd is presented by Explorers Credit Union, proudly serving Northeast Nebraska and Southeast South Dakota. Discover the difference with them at explorerscu.com. We're keeping it with the bat and ball sports for a moment, as we're going to talk about softball now before going to a break. Season begins on Monday for Yankton Gazelles softball. It was originally scheduled to start on Tuesday, but the weather looks much better on Monday, and Yankton and Brookings came to an agreement that they're going to play Monday afternoon up in Brookings. The Gazelles, looking at their year last season, they went 6-14, finishing 13th in Class AA. They did fall to Sioux Falls Jefferson in the SODAC 16, but that would be the eventual state champion, Sioux Falls Jefferson Cavaliers, outscoring their opponents 17-6 in the state tournament with 2 shutouts. So Yankton got a tough matchup in that SODAC 16. They were 13th seed in the SODAC. Yankton did graduate 2 seniors last season, Madison Gerard and Haley Schulte. There are 3 seniors listed on the roster for this season, Madison Musfelt, Eliza Gurney, and Kyra Churchma. So those are the 3 seniors listed online, and they open their senior season with the rest of the Gazelles on Monday in Brookings. First pitch for the varsity is scheduled for 4 p.m. JV to follow. It's something that always throws me off is when JV goes second, because I'm so used to the JV games preceding the varsity matchups. But JV second, varsity first on Monday, 4 p.m. Monday afternoon up in Brookings, the season opener for Yankton Gazelles softball. We're going to go back to break here on KYNT and KYN-TV. When we come back, we're talking about Bucks tennis, and we'll also give you a quick preview of Yankton Gazelles golf. That's coming up in a couple minutes. This is Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN-TV.
Imagine paid vacation, sick leave, holidays, and full medical coverage the moment you start a new job. Plus quarterly profit sharing, 5% 401k match, and a company-paid retirement plan your first day on the job. With Parker of Yankton, you don't have to imagine, because all these benefits begin day one. We are hiring assemblers, material handlers, and line operation techs for both shifts. Don't mind working nights? Enjoy a pay differential of $235. If you're looking to upgrade your career and have day one benefits, apply today at parker.com.
Parker, engineering your success.
Do you have a pest problem? Bed bugs, bats in the attic, termite damage, earwigs? Olson's Pest Technicians can tackle any of your pest problems. Family owned and operated with over 80 years of pest experience in South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. Proven pest methods include Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatments for bed bugs. Even the toughest pest infestations don't stand a chance. Olson's Pest Technicians, putting pests to rest since 1966. Call 800-KIL-BUGS.
Tip-off is here and the season's heating up. Whether it's your home, farm, or everyday life, Farmers Union Insurance help you defend against the unexpected and score big on protection. Brendan Hansen and Brandon Tykero at Suite 101B, Morgan Square in Yankton help you rebound from surprises, make every play count, and keep your game strong all season long. Don't let life slam dunk you. Stop by today and stay covered with Farmers Union Insurance.
If you've been suffering from chronic pain or a recent injury,
check us out, Lane, Reed, and Cole Sawatsky at SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab.
We offer a wide variety of treatments and techniques, including dry needling, cupping, chiropractic adjustments, and sports rehabilitation.
Our mission is to ensure an individualized and efficient treatment plan to get you back on your feet.
From ankle sprains and sports injuries to neck pain and headaches, we've got your back.
Give us a call or book an appointment on our website. SWAT Chiropractic, specialized wellness and therapy.
Located on Summit Street across from the high school.
When you make the right decision, it feels good. Like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision too. That's why State Farm agent Rhonda Westland is right here in Yankton to help you select the right protection at the right price. Rhonda will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Rhonda Westland, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call her. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Do you struggle with dry contacts? At Vision Care Associates, we have a great option. Infused contact lenses by Bosch & Lomb. Infused lenses are designed to ensure that your eyes stay hydrated and irritation-free, even after a full day of wear. Our doctors specialize in fitting these lenses for maximum comfort and optimal vision. Schedule your consultation and experience the all-day comfort and crisp, clear vision you deserve.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV. This is Huddling with the Herd. I am Brayden Butler. We're talking Yankton Bucks tennis and Gazelles golf. We'll just start with Gazelles golf. It's just a quick reminder. They are the last spring sport that gets things rolling on the season. They have their season opener scheduled for the 16th of April. That'll be at Spring Creek Country Club in Harrisburg. Once again, the 16th of April is when Gazelles golf will get things rolling on their season. Now let's turn our attention to Yankton Bucks tennis. An impressive start to their season yesterday. They went 3-0, and they only dropped 2 matches over the 27 played. Impressive performance from the Yankton Bucks. They started things off with a 9-0 sweep of Rapid City Central. Ivan Kraske led with a 10-0 victory at Flight 2 singles. And then Yankton would go on to defeat Rapid City Stevens, who traditionally one of the better teams in the entire state. 7-2 win for Yankton over Stevens, sweeping doubles play and singles play. Harrison Kraske, Ivan Kraske, Ethan Marsh, and Zane Becker all picking up singles wins. They would end the day with a 9-0 sweep of the Spearfish Spartans. So a very impressive performance on day one for the Yankton Bucks. I know they're a couple new faces there you might remember from last year. Obviously, Zane Becker, a young guy coming in at Flight 6 singles. Ivan Kraske, another guy who's now stepping it up into the forefront. Harrison Kraske, Ethan March, Chris Rockney, Jack Pedersen. They've been around for a while for Bucks tennis. But that is your roster in singles play. Harrison Kraske is at Flight 1. Ivan Kraske at Flight 2. Chris Rockney at Flight 3. Ethan Marsh, Flight 4. Jack Pedersen, Flight 5. And Zane Becker rounding out your top 6 flights in singles play, at least for the opening 3 matches of the season. And the Bucks, it's a busy opening weekend for them. It was a 5-match stretch on the schedule. Their first 3 yesterday. They got 2 more today, and one of them should be in action right now, as they were scheduled to start their match with St. Thomas More at 9 a.m. Central Time. 8 a.m. Mountain Time. So early start for them over in Rapid City. I believe that one's taking place at Sioux Park in Rapid City. Yankton will then come back later this morning, 11 a.m. Mountain, noon Central. They'll take on Rapid City Christian to round out their 5-game stretch of the opening week. Take a moment here. I'm going to pull up the YHS activities calendar. And I'll let you know when the first time you might be able to see the Yankton Bucks tennis team in action. in front of their home crowd. As I know, they got a pretty good facility down there right off the Yankton High School tennis courts. Take a look, see when their first home match is. Obviously going out to Rapid City for the opening this week, and their first home matches are scheduled for Tuesday. It's a triangular. They host Vermilion at Vermilion and Sioux City's Bishop Heelan High School. So a little interstate matchup there with Bishop Heelan making the trip over here. Just about an hour for Bishop Heelan to come over here, but still. Bishop Heelan and Vermilion on Tuesday, March 31st at 11 a.m. start. Yankton takes on Heelan. And then at 1 p.m., Heelan against Vermilion. And then finally at 3 p.m., Yankton against Vermilion to round things out. That is Tuesday, the 31st of March. I know they moved the softball games on Tuesday to Monday, but nothing has been announced yet for tennis. Looks like they're still going to go on as scheduled Tuesday morning into the afternoon, the 31st of March. It's going to do it for Bucks Tennis and Gazelles Golf here on KYNT and KYN-TV. We're going to go back to break. When we come back, we got plenty to talk about for Yankton track and field. It always seems like there's a lot to talk about with them just because the amount of athletes involved and the amount of good results they get out there, either in their track or field events. So we'll talk about that when we come back. This is Huddling with the Herd on KYNT, KYN-TV.
What if your next big adventure isn't out there on the road? What if it's already waiting right at home? That kitchen you've been dreaming of, extra room to grow, or the family trip you've pictured long ago. Your home's equity can fuel it all. When your plans become a must, Explorers Credit Union. Build steady, build for us. Insured by NCUA. Call 800-491-4309 and put your equity to work for you today.
Traveling to Yankton for business or pleasure in 2026? Then book your stay at Yankton's two finest hotels, the Fairfield by Marriott and the Holiday Inn Express. Both are conveniently located to everything in Yankton. Both offer a complimentary hot breakfast and meeting rooms for business travelers. And if you want a great rate and flexible reservation changes, call either hotel direct, the Fairfield by Marriott and the Holiday Inn Express. Two great hotel choices when visiting or arranging rooms for guests to Yankton.
Buying a home isn't just about real estate. It's about investing in yourself. At the Move Group, we believe the best time to buy is when it makes sense for you. Our expert agents put people before transactions, meaning we listen first, provide honest guidance, and help you make a confident decision. No pressure, no gimmicks. Markets change, but the right home is about more than just numbers. It's about finding the right fit for your life and your future. When you're ready, we're here to help. Contact the Move Group today.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT and RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. Visit mtrcsmithinsurance.com.
There's a difference when a convenience store is locally owned, and you feel it the moment you stop at Triple Time Rudy's. You'll get great quality fuel to keep you on the move, plus local and regional favorites like Dimmick Cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner Lockers. It's the kind of place that's convenient and connected to your community. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway, Triple Time Rudy's, fueling your day, fueling your community.
Hi, I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate. If you're thinking of selling your home, let's start with a full market analysis so you can understand our local market trends and know what to expect. Let me handle the details so you can focus on your next adventure. When it's time to move, pack those Vision boxes and hook up to our courtesy trailer. Call me, Deb Speck, at 605-664-5555.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV. You're listening to Huddling with the Herd. You're also following along if you're on KYN-TV through our several streaming platforms, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or online at kyntv.com or the KYN-TV app on mobile and TV devices. We're everywhere. Be sure to tune into us here on KYN-TV, as well as listening live 102.1 FM AM 1450 on KYNT. Huddling with the Herd today presented to you by Explorers Credit Union, serving Northeast Nebraska and Southeast South Dakota. Discover the difference at explorerscu.com. Let's talk about Yankton track and field now, and there is quite a bit to talk about for the Bucks and Gazelles track and field program. Had their second meet of the season yesterday, the Mount Marty Class A Indoor Invite. Taking a look at the results, this is listed on here are just the top 8 finishers. So any Yankton Buck or Gazelle that finished in the top 8 is listed here, and I have basically a full page of top 8 finishers. We'll start with the Gazelles, and chief among them today, Quinn Brinkman, set a new meet record yesterday, clearing 5.5 to win the high jump. She also placed 4th in the triple jump, set a facility record a few weeks ago, clearing just over 5.5. So very, very good start to her season as a high jumper, also placing 4th in the triple jump. Avery Portillo finished 8th in the triple jump as well. Maddie Tarashinsky led the way in the shot put with a 5th place finish. Delaney Yeomans 6th in the 800, followed by Abby Johannesson 8th in the 800. And Berkeley Olson finished 6th in the 60 for individual events. For relays, it was Yeomans and Johannesson, along with Kayleen Peterson and Rylan Jackson, who took 3rd in the 3,200 meter relay. That same quartet of athletes finished 5th in the distance relay, and the distance medley, Jackson, Brinkman, Riley Mosier, and Mary Rounds would take 4th in the sprint medley, and Mosier was back again for the 800 relay, along with Charlie Madsen, Avi Seiler, and Ava Henriks, who placed 3rd in that relay. That rounds out the top 8 finishers for the Yankton Gazelles. Very impressive performances for them. Now we move on to the Yankton Bucks. Only one event victory for the Bucks, but a lot of high finishers. William Rounds took the event win in the pole vault. He cleared 13.6, and his teammate Carson Krall, also finishing in the top 8, placed 6th in the pole vault. Luke Feimer, a couple top 8 finishes for him individually. He also had some relay performances that went really well, but we'll talk about those later on. But Feimer 3rd in the 1600 and 6th in the 800 for the Bucks. Andrew Budig 3rd in the shot put. Cale Hazelhorst 3rd in the 60-meter hurdles. Tegan LaCroix was 7th in the long jump. Owen Eidsness was 7th in the 400. And rounding out your individual top 8 finishers for the Bucks, Jacob Bivens was 8th in the high jump. In relays, Yankton finished 3rd in the 800. That quartet was Owen Eidsness, Tegan LaCroix, Alex Swihart, and Cale Hazelhorst. They also finished 3rd in the 3,200 and distance medley. 3,200-meter team saw Isaac Paulson, Brighton Olson, Tristan Dusher, and Luke Jacobson. The distance medley saw Isaac Larrington, along with Paulson, Olson, and Braxton Hoover. The Bucks also finished 6th in the 1,600 relay. That was Swihart, Eidsness, LaCroix, and Feimer. And 7th in the sprint medley, Jacob Bivens, Dusher again, along with Braxton Hoover and Will Sagner. That rounds out your top 8 finishers for the Yankton Bucks and Gazelles in their second meet of the season. Just yesterday, I should say. It started at 10 a.m., but just yesterday out at the Ruth Donahoe First Dakota Fieldhouse. The Bucks and Gazelles are scheduled to go outdoors for their next meet on April 7th at Sioux Falls Lincoln High School, with events scheduled to begin at 4 p.m. Yankton will have 2 home meets this season. They'll have a home triangular on April 14th. They will host Brandon Valley and Mitchell in that triangular. And then, of course, May 7th, the First Dakota Relays, always a big deal. A lot of teams from the surrounding area and even farther out than just the surrounding area coming to compete in the First Dakota Relays on May 7th. Still quite a ways before we get to that, though. But a good start to the season for Yankton track and field. Multiple event victories in both of their first meets. multiple records being set already by Quinn Brinkman. Facility record 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago now, I think 10 days, maybe 11 days now from today. And then a meet record yesterday in the Class A indoor invite. I know Cale Hazelhorst set a facility record back a couple weeks ago as well in that opening meet of the season. So this is a very, very good Yankton track and field squad. They got a lot of great athletes out there, and hoping for some really, really good results throughout the entire season, especially with how things have started for them. We're going to go back to break here on KYNT and KYN-TV. When we return, it's time for YHS Nation here on the broadcast. YHS Nation, your weekly look in and around the activities outside of athletics around Yankton High School. This week, we're talking Science Olympiad. Josh Bolter got to talk to Lisa Cortan, the coach for the Science Olympiad team. So we'll have that interview coming up when we come back. You're listening to Huddling with the Herd on KYNT, KYN-TV.
Small test, big protection. The general surgeons at Yankton Medical Clinic performed more than 1,900 colonoscopies last year. 1,900 steps towards a healthier community. Screening is simple, safe, and one of the most effective ways to prevent colon cancer. Most patients sleep comfortably through the entire procedure, which usually takes less than 30 minutes. Don't wait until symptoms appear. Call for an appointment today. Plus, the general surgeons are on call and see patients after hours and weekends. Learn more at yanktonmedicalclinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
Getting your business noticed starts with the right print. The other day, a customer came into the UPS store Yankton to pick up blueprints we printed for him. While we finished his order, he mentioned needing business cards. At the UPS store, we handle all your printing needs. Stop in and ask about our current print specials. And that customer? We had his new business cards ready the very next business day. Come explore our small business solutions at the UPS store in Yankton.
Save time when you shop online with Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee makes it easy to order groceries online through our app or Hy-Vee.com. Pickup is always free. And if you have a Perks Plus membership, you get free delivery and free express pickup. Shop online with Hy-Vee and you can create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Talk about convenience. Order groceries online today. Check out Hy-Vee.com or download the Hy-Vee app.
Feeling drained isn't always about sleep or motivation. This is Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson with First Chiropractic Centers. When your body is stiff, tense, or moving poorly, everyday tasks can take more effort than they should. When spinal joints aren't moving well, other areas often compensate. Regular chiropractic care helps improve mobility and reduce tension patterns that keep your body on high alert. Start feeling better with a call to First Chiropractic Centers with offices in Yankton, Hardington, Tyndall, and Wagner, inspiring and empowering others to healthier living.
Practice, meetings, errands, homework, life doesn't slow down. That's why Yankton Pizza Ranch makes dinner easy. Our buffet is hot, fresh, and ready when you are. Pizza, desserts, and the country's best chicken. When your schedule's packed but you still want something delicious, make it a buffet day at Yankton Pizza Ranch, serving daily from 11 to 8.
It's where life tastes better. Surround 'em up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch. Whoa, that's good.
Ever have one of those days? Your car breaks down, your dog decides your couch is a chew toy, and oh yeah, a tree falls on your roof. Don't worry, Missouri River Associates has you covered. Auto, home, pet mishaps, we're here for all of life's little oops moments. Call 665-6885 for your free quote, because life happens, and we're ready for it.
At Vision Care Associates, we're always improving our technology for the health of your eyes. With OptiMap dilation-free exams, you get a comprehensive view of your retina without the need for dilation eye drops. It's quick, easy, and best of all, it keeps your day interruption-free. OptiMap captures a detailed image of your eye, helping to detect any problems. No blurriness, no discomfort, just clear, precise results. Book your OptiMap exam now.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV. This is Huddling with the Herd, and it's time for YHS Nation, your weekly look at an activity or an event going on outside of the athletic sphere around Yankton High School. Today, We're talking about Science Olympiad, as I believe the state competition is today. Yes, it is out at the University of South Dakota. All-state band also out in Rapid City today. So a lot of state activities going on around Yankton, around the Yankton High School. Around the Yankton High School activities programs, but I digress. Josh Bolter, our news director here at KYNT, was able to catch up with Lisa Cortan about the high school science Olympiad team, how they're doing, and heading into the state meet today. So that's going to be our YHS Nation interview this week. We'll go live to that now here on KYNT and KYN-TV.
I'm Josh Bolter. You're listening to KYNT. And joining me right now is the Yankton High School Science Olympiad coach. It's Lindsay Cortan. Lindsay, appreciate the time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And glad to have you on here as it is Science Olympiad season for both the high school and the middle school. And we want to talk about the high school side of things today, and we'll get into it. I know state competition is this weekend, but first off, I just wanted to ask, how are things going this season for the Science Olympiad team?
They're going well. You know, the kids have been working hard for a long time, and they're, getting anxious but excited to see the fruits of their labor come to fruition on Saturday.
Yeah, and with that, and not to put you on the spot, but do you know off the top of your head, how many members do you have on the team this year?
We have 15. That's a full roster for Science Olympiad.
Wow, 15 kids on the team this year. So with that, so let's talk about some of the things that they'll be doing at state this weekend. First off, let's get into the where, when, things like that people need to know.
Yeah, so the competition occurs on the University of South Dakota campus in Vermilion every year, and it's usually kind of spread out all across campus. They get a lot of professor volunteers and TA volunteers to kind of run each of the events, and so they're kind of all in their own domain in their own buildings, and so the kids are usually, sometimes running from building to building to get to their events. So, and then also Vermilion High School has also in the last couple of years kind of graciously allowed their gym space to be used because some of the events require kind of a large space like that for things like helicopter or, those types of things that need room to move through the air.
Now let's talk about some of the categories and maybe some of the things, if someone from Yankton was to go, that they'd see from the Yankton team and things like that.
Yeah, so a lot of the events are closed to outsiders, unfortunately, because some of them, they are, simply they've studied for a test and they're taking a written test. Some of them are doing, science experiments and there's safety concerns involved. But there are a few building events that those are the ones that people might attend and watch. So things like I mentioned, helicopter, they'll be, trying to get their helicopter to run for, extended period of time. There's an event, hovercraft, where they have to build a device that, kind of hovers above the ground and can move across there. There's another event where they are coding a robot and it has to navigate a certain maze, basically. So those would be the build events are going to be the ones that are more accessible for viewing.
And then with that, after state, I understand there's another competition too that, if things go well at state, the Science Olympiad team can qualify for as well.
Yeah, so the state competition determines your bid for nationals, which is obviously the goal. And so the first place team in both divisions, the high school and middle school, get a bid for nationals, which will be in Los Angeles this year.
So a trip to Los Angeles on the line this weekend for nationals. Lindsay, I just wanted to ask you here before I let you go, is there anything else you want us to know about the Science Olympiad team, about state, about nationals, or just anything else they got going on?
I think it's just really awesome, the legacy of success, and both the middle school and high school teams have shown, we clearly value science education in our community and our district, and we get a lot of community support. Like I mentioned, heading to nationals in Los Angeles is no easy or cheap feat, and so we get a lot of donations from community groups and community members. And so I think, just understanding how appreciative we are for all the support we get is probably first and foremost, and just how incredibly proud we are to be from Yankton and supporting STEM education.
Yeah, well, we're rooting for you here. Good luck this weekend over in Vermilion, and thanks for the time today, Lindsay.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Josh. I appreciate it.
That was Yankton High School Science Olympiad coach Lindsay Cortan. I'm Josh Bolter. You're listening to KYNT.
The high school competition, or the state competition for high school and middle school today at the University of South Dakota. That is for Science Olympiad. I know in that interview, only some of those events are really open to the public, but massive opportunity for the Science Olympiad program. Obviously, nationals in Los Angeles would be huge for the team. And if you are familiar with Science Olympiad, it's a really big deal around Yankton. I know the middle school team is, I'm thinking in sports terms, basically a dynasty. I know for Science Olympiad, and the high school team very, very consistently up there as well around the state. So if you can find any way to support these kids and what they do, it'd be really awesome for the Science Olympiad program. Good luck to them today over in Vermilion. And now is for part of YHS Nation. We'll go over the activities calendar for the coming week, and then we'll wrap things up here for Huddling with the Herd. Today, obviously, Science Olympiad over at the University of South Dakota. High school All-State Band at Rapid City Central today as well. Yankton Bucks tennis already underway. They're taking on St. Thomas More at Parkview, not Sioux Park. They're at Parkview for the match against St. Thomas More. They're at Sioux Park later today against Rapid City Christian. That one's scheduled for noon Central, 11 a.m. Mountain to start things off. Jumping ahead now to Monday, March 30th, softball has moved up their season opener. They will now play on the 30th against Brookings at the Southbrook Softball Complex. Game 1 scheduled for 4 p.m. I say game 1. The varsity game scheduled for 4 p.m. The junior varsity to follow. That is an ESD conference game. The High School Student Council State Convention will take place on Tuesday, March 31st at the Monument out in Rapid City. Bucks Tennis has their home opener on Tuesday as they host Sioux City's Bishop Heelan at 11 a.m. and then take on Vermilion at 3 p.m. The softball game was originally scheduled for Tuesday. That has been moved, and that's actually it for your activities calendar for the rest of the week. Just the state convention for student council running into Wednesday, April 1st, and that is it until next Saturday. As an extended break off, obviously Easter weekend coming up, that kind of makes sense for the team. So we'll see that after Easter when we come back, what activities are in store for us. But Yankton Bucks baseball season opener this evening, 5 p.m. first pitch of game number 1, game 2 to follow. It's a doubleheader against the Pierre Governors. Should be a lot of fun. 4:15 pregame here on KYNT and KYN-TV. We'll have coverage of that. It'll be myself and Josh Bolter on the call. That is going to wrap up another week of Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT and KYN-TV. I've been Brayden Butler. Huddling with the Herd has been presented to you by Explorers Credit Union. Discover the difference with them at explorerscu.com. We're back next week with another live edition of YHS Nation and Huddling with the Herd. YHS Nation will be a part of it next week. And I believe that one, the interview for next week, already wrapped up and in the can. We'll have Waxapay next week for the YHS Nation. So be sure to tune in for that one next week. And, of course, your weekly recap for Yankton Bucks and Gazelles Athletics. I've been Brayden Butler. Thank you for joining me this Saturday morning. Until next week, stay safe, be good people, and have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk at you later.